and gentlemen, welcome. Episode number 53 of Mound Visit. I'm Casey Honigbaum, joined as always by the 15-year MLB veteran, the all-star grilled cheese over there with a little special hat for us. Flip it up.
Yeah, dude.
For those watching, check it out on our YouTube channel. Look at this.
I went to Yinzer Fest that was just happening. The first Yinzer Fest, they started, kicked it off. And some of these artisans, I got loaded with hats this week. I don't know, it was crazy. But this artisan, I don't know if you could see that.
Oh, yeah.
This is a total Pittsburgh hat. Look at that.
Hell yeah. Look at that thing.
Look at that. Yinzer skyline with the 412 rocking it right there.
Look at that.
Special. I mean, right? Good looking lid.
I love that. I love that.
Wait, whatever these are, I have her number. I said we're gonna make some for Mound Visit.
Yes,
dude.
please get something
swag
underneath there. Yeah, so stay tuned for that, people. I brought something to the show as well. I know we talked about it last week, and I'm gonna spare everyone. I cleaned it for you all. So that is one of my wisdom teeth that got ripped out of my mouth.
Lord.
That's one of the four. Look at that sucker right there. Look at that thing.
That thing is got its own zip code, bro.
Yeah, it does. And I'm sparing you guys the bloody guts and everything. I'll spare you the details, but
dude, big teeth, big eyebrows, big personality. I mean, Adam's apple.
Yeah, I was waiting for that one.
No wonder why you're a Mets fan.
Yeah.
Right there. Speaking of which, did we talk about their uniforms?
No, we haven't talked about the City Connects yet. What do you think? You like them?
Dude, I am very impressed with what went into those.
Yeah.
I watched, I think I sent you the Instagram breakdown of that. Just
cool.
With why they picked the color purple for the train that gets them there. I mean, there's a lot of thought into that.
Yeah.
So
I loved it.
I'm a big fan of those. I did. I liked those.
So going into it, when it first came out, because I saw the leak, I saw the uniform get leaked, and I was like, part of me was a little bit disappointed, but because I think the video that they put together encapsulated Queens and New York City to a T. I thought it was fantastic.
And with all these uniform snafus, that have been happening, right? To come correct, I'd be like, yo, we're wearing these. If you made that better than
it's
Fanatics did.
It's funny you mentioned that because
Nike.
It's funny you mentioned that. So Brandon Nimmo, the Mets center fielder, left fielder, was talking about how they want to wear
those every game.
Well, here's the thing. So they've worn them 3 out of the last 6 games, but the reason they've done that, because usually teams don't wear their City Connects that often. The reason the Mets have done that is because they don't have the right pants for their black alternate uniforms. Nike and Fanatics have not sent the team their pants, so they have to wear their City Connect uniforms.
How do you do this?
I don't know.
Is it like, surprise, Major League Baseball is coming back?
Yeah, I don't know.
For another edition of 162. Dude,
Beyond
that is
me.
terrible. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just leave it to those who have done it before and did it very well.
Yeah.
That's just what I'm saying.
Seriously.
No offense, but come on. I mean, it's not a surprise.
I know. I agree. Did you see the Tampa Bay Rays came out with their City Connects? Did you see those yet?
Did not see
that.
When did that come out?
I think it was yesterday. It literally just dropped yesterday. And I got to be honest, they might be my favorite. They might be my favorite of all the City Connects.
Wow, dude.
What do you think?
That says a lot.
It's a lot, but it's like, if you're going to do a City Connect, that's what I'm talking about.
I see
you know
that.
what I mean?
Yep.
And they glow in the dark.
Well, listen, those are better than San Diego's. I felt like San Diego's was a little bit, I don't know, they need a redo on that one.
Yeah.
I'd like to get a redo.
Yeah.
For San
Diego.
Diego.
It's tough to hit on those, because you're never going to please anyone with those uniforms. And a lot of people, I know my buddies and I have gone back and forth. If you see the Red Sox, their yellow City Connect uniforms, I don't hate them. And a lot of people are like, why would the Red Sox ever wear yellow? But for me, that's the point of these City Connect uniforms. You take something that's central and, and beloved in that city. It doesn't have to be the team colors. And you throw it out there.
Phillies, I like the Phillies.
Phillies were interesting.
I was impressed with the Phillies.
Yeah.
I like the Phillies.
I'm not a fan of dark baseball pants, personally. I don't know how you feel about that, but...
No. I never wore them. I know the Pirates brought the black pants back. That was
the all black is...
Stargell days.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
Some teams I think it goes appropriately,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It's just another way to get some income and keep the fans happy. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
everybody likes a new hat, obviously.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got another one that says I was on their show. Our friends over at Yajagoff. You know.
Can you tell people what, just in case people aren't aware, what is Yinzer?
Yinzer is just a Pittsburgher. It's listen. There's a whole Pittsburghese language. I'm not from here. I'm a transplant.
Right.
But like.
Well, but you're indoctrinated in Pittsburgh culture.
Yeah. Well,
so.
like another word. They call rubber bands gum bands. They say downtown. They go downtown.
Right.
There's just different little slingo and accent, but some people are just like, yo, what is it? What are they talking about? You know. Because even I got here, I was like, what is that? You jag off.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard that before. It's probably the most famous one. Either you like it or hate that one.
I love it.
There's some good words. Maybe we'll have to do a little rundown, a list of all the Yinzer talk.
Yeah.
When we get another pirate or somebody on here.
I was gonna say, I remember when we had Bednar on, kind of towards the end of that interview.
We should have brought that.
Yeah, he gave us a little bit of it,
some,
but yeah.
But yeah, man. So
I love it. A lot going on in baseball right now. A lot going on. We got a great interview for you coming up, but I've waited too long to give our plug here before we get to all that and more. Follow the show. Subscribe to the show. You could do that for free on YouTube. Just click a button. Hit those notifications. Leave us a comment. Leave us a like. And let us know what you think about the show. It really helps us out. And like I said, you could do that for free if you like to watch the show. And if you don't, if you just like to listen, you could do that wherever you get your audio podcast and do the same thing there. Leave the show a follow. And follow us on social media at Mound Visit Pod. Search us up there. There's a lot going on in baseball. And I wanted to get, I'll get the somber stuff out of the way before we go to our interview with Joey Campagna, which is just about as good of an interview as we've had in terms of, you want inspiration, an inspirational story, just a great lesson, a great kid. This is an awesome one to have. But I want to talk about Mike Trout. You mentioned it. It's just, I think for me, I'm heartbroken. Kind of. Just as a baseball fan in general, you as a former teammate of Mike's, you know better than anyone what a guy like that looks like up close when he's healthy and on the field. Can you kind of give me your raw thoughts on just, another lengthy injury for him?
Yeah, here's the good thing about technology and medics, especially for a guy like that. You're making $35 million a year. I think they're going to invest in making sure he gets some stuff right. Yep. And then with the way things are, I know I can speak to me, some of the injuries that I sustained and the surgeries I had to have. The technology, it should improve if you do the work and the rehab. Mm. And Mike's a hard worker. You see the way he plays the game. He plays it hard. He loves it, respects it. I think he'll be back. He's had this streak of whatever. But this is a guy that goes, to me, balls out all the time. The way he runs, it's not typical. I mean, the way he runs, it looks so easy, but he's going hard every time.
Yeah.
And to me, I just hope that whatever is inhibiting him and what's slowed him down right now doesn't take away a lot of his superpowers. But again, that being said, I think with the technology, with the right doctors that are going to be going, I think he'll be fine. There's a lot of guys that have come back from that injury. But yes, the way he was going, playing on a team that's always like saying, hey, he's Mike Trout. We've said it.
Yeah.
Is it going to be another Ken Griffey Jr. season? A great player, Hall of Famer, never gets to the World Series. You want to see a player like that. Like, what's he going to be in a World Series situation?
Yeah.
And not everybody gets that.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to a World Series and lost, and that was my only experience. And sometimes you get there and lose. Sometimes you never get there. Mm-hmm. Not everybody has the 10 rings like Yogi Berra or the famed, Yeah,
not everyone's Madison Bumgarner, where you're a World Series legend, right?
Or Tom Brady.
Sure.
God bless Tom Brady. You figured it out. You're on great teams.
Yeah.
and people hate you for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
but
right.
but like I said, there's guys that are sitting there going like they just want to get one shot, and those are the people you got to rally behind. So I feel where you're coming from. I feel like when you want something so bad, it feels so distant. And look at we had Joey Campagna on there, a guy coming from independent league. Get any further away from being even in pro ball, which it is pro ball.
Yeah.
But affiliated pro ball with Major League Baseball.
Right.
But yeah, you can go watch some good baseball. And Joey, who's a dear friend of mine, and so excited to finally get him on the show.
Yes.
He went through a lot of stuff, and I spent a lot of time talking him through it and trying to be a good friend, be a teammate, even though I'm not on his team.
Yeah.
And it takes that, man. It takes a lot of support, a lot of things, because it eats at you. It's a grind, and when you have bad outing after bad outing, you can sit there. That's why I said I think some of the questions I would ask, is prefacing like, what's the attitude going into a season?
Yeah.
What's your expectations?
Yeah.
Are you setting the bar too high? Are you setting it too low?
Right.
What to expect? And consistency is the name of the game, because once you get consistent and you play for the feeling that hey, I'm capable of this, man, your confidence soars. And then once that happens, freakish things do happen, because when you're a major league athlete and you're good enough to play at any of those levels, and you're playing under the lights and they're paying you, I think amateurism's kind of getting out the door with all this NIL stuff, isn't it?
Right,
I mean,
right.
we're getting there.
Right.
Collective bargaining is going to happen.
Yeah.
In amateur, there's going to be no amateur. It's going to be, if you're an athlete and you're risking your body, and we're going to pay you for that.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So I know I'm blending a lot of topics all.
Yeah.
into
No.
one,
No. I like
all,
it. That's what we do here.
They're
on
all
Mound.
related, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're all related.
No,
man.
but I mean, it's true. It's all related. It's all under that same umbrella that is baseball. But just to give a few nuggets on Trout, because I was looking him up before we hopped on the show here, but it's just, I mean, to see him getting emotional in that press conference, man, it was just like, I mean, I remember being 12 years old and watching him play in his first full season, and like those are the things that as a kid, like getting to watch someone like that, like those are the people that make you fall in love with the game. Obviously, those who have watched every episode of Mound Visit know that I'm a dork for David Wright. Love David Wright. He made me fall in love with the game. But it's like, it's everybody that you watch growing up, and it's people, there's different players that define generations. And I think, like, you look at Trout from 2017 to 2019, he was playing 145 games a year on average. His slash line, 308, 422, 587, a 1 OPS that he averaged over the course of 7 seasons. And then it's just, he's also averaging 35 homers, almost 100 RBIs, and 25 stolen bases. The guy does everything and more. And then you look at 2020 in a season that gets cut short. It's just another tragedy of that shortened season to me, was that we were robbed of another Mike Trout season. I mean, he was phenomenal in that season as well. But since then, he's played an average of 64 games. But for me, I like to look at the fact that in those, if you average out his statistics, 958 OPS, 161 OPS plus, 19 homers and 40 RBIs in that average for those 64 games across the last 4 seasons, or last 3 seasons rather. The fact for me is still this: when he's on the field, he's still the best player in the game. The fact is he just isn't on the field enough. But like you said, if there's anybody that can get back on the field and do it consistently, I mean, he's only 32 years old. There's a lot of time for Mike Trout to add chapters, and hopefully the chapter that we all want, which is to see him play in the postseason. But I had to share that before we get to our interview, because he's someone that's meant a lot to me as a baseball fan, and I just I want to see him out there playing, just like we all do, and just like he does above anyone else. So
100%, man. It's never fun to be injured.
Yeah.
And it's painful to watch the game go on without you. Especially when the closer you are to it, it's painful. And Mike, I know, wants to be out there and contribute. He's who you build a franchise around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah, I wish him the best of luck. I know that He's got a little bit of a road ahead of him, but not a career-ending one.
Absolutely, nothing insurmountable. He's not done.
He'll overcome. No,
absolutely,
far from it.
Well, speaking of that, let's get you to our interview with somebody who is also not done playing baseball, Joey Campagna. We hope you guys enjoy that. Stick tuned or stay to the end of the show, and we'll talk to you there.
Listen, I got one of a family friend, dear friend, Joey Campagna, local Pittsburgh guy here. Been here longer than me. I met him. I know his parents real well. His sister's a Billboard artist, singer. Maybe we'll have her on a Mound visit. But Joey's the athletic side of the family, and he's bringing it. He's just arrived in Chicago, so good little road trip for you, man, to join another season in independent ball. Tell us who you're playing for, man. What's going on? How do you feel about the season starting for you, man?
Yeah, man. No, I mean, I'm really excited. I spent a little too much time at home, but no, I'm playing for the Chicago Dogs. Out here in the American Association. I was with the Rockies last year. Didn't end up working out to go back, so I came out here. They called me, and I'm ready to get after it, man. We were out there today on the field. That's why I was taking a nice long nap, man. We were out there, man. It was warm out, not too warm, but it was a beautiful day, and just
what's funny?
After it.
What's funny? You can get in all the shape you want in the gym, but baseball shape is different, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, it is different. It definitely is, and it's a lot different the higher you go, because it requires a lot more of your attention. A lot more of focus. I mean, that's probably the best word for it. A lot more of your focus is really required, and that, if you're an introvert and you got to extrovert a little bit, it's a little, it can be taxing, but
yeah. Which one are you? What do you identify yourself as? More of a,
what do I identify as?
Pizza?
I really don't even know. Probably an introvert until I have to extrovert, and then I really don't even know who the introvert side of Joey is. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a big guy who likes to go out after games and stuff. But whenever I do go out, I definitely get the most out of it. So
there you go.
So that's probably a good way to explain it.
Awesome, man.
Well, that's all part of operating inside of a clubhouse, right? I mean, no matter what level you're at, correct me if I'm wrong, but you kind of have to figure out your way of finding how you fit into each clubhouse. And you've done that, obviously, from youth ball all the way to college, high school, every single level in between. To kind of jump around. Talk to us a little bit about how you do that, because I'm sure there's some people watching this show who have dreams to be where you are today. And so I'm sure that adjustment took time and is still probably something that you're still adjusting to today. So how do you deal with that on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I kind of sucked at it at first. I mean, I was not good at meshing with everybody and like really just keeping the energy going. And that's something that I had to learn over the last couple of years, was to be a team guy, be that extrovert even when I don't want to be an extrovert, and get the energy flowing. It was 8:00, which isn't too early, but it was 8:00 whenever we all showed up this morning, and there were some guys that were still sleeping. So I got my speaker, because nobody was making music. It was silent. I got my speaker and just started blasting music, whether it was Latin or rap or whatever it was, Morgan Wallen a little bit. I just started blasting some music. I got guys talking. I think the best way, honestly, to get everybody to start to click is to make fun of everybody.
Oh, I like it.
I really do. Like we all just make fun of ourselves. You throw jabs here and there, and then
the clubhouse,
it lets everybody open up.
Yeah, the clubhouse is a very unique space where you can kind of do that, and it's out of love. It's not out of hatred. It's just let's get comfortable being uncomfortable, because you got dudes from Alabama, you got Venezuela, You might have
Yeah.
an Asian guy on the team. I mean, there's people from all walks of life, backgrounds, and all that. Another great icebreaker, Joe. I'll tell you one I had because I wasn't big into playing cards. I found cards were just a little too slow and boring for me. But left, right, center. Get out like $5 before the game, right? You get a few guys just rolling dice, and especially in the minor leagues, probably even more so in independent ball. That pot would be hopefully whoever wins it will take you out for a couple pizzas or whatever, a couple pops after the game. But we did that big time. I brought left, right, center into the fold in Toronto, man, and it was a big icebreaker. We had some big games going, and it was a lot of fun. But just
How do you play that? What is that? I don't even know what that is.
so left, right, center. Oh, you just get
Uh-uh.
3 chips. Look it up, dude. It's something. It's a small game you can put right in your. So it comes in a little case, and you can put it right in your toiletry bag. It's so easy. You roll 3 dice, you get 3 chips, but you just usually you do $3 or three whatever, and you basically the things that have the last man with the last chip. If I could explain it, left, right, center. If you get a C on the dice, you put the chip or the dollar in the center. If
Oh,
you,
I see what you meant.
and then if the
So
guy,
it's all numbers based.
huh?
Like what you roll, right?
Yeah, so
it's all about what you roll.
If you were to the left of me, I rolled 3 lefts. I'd pass all my chips or all my money to you. I'm not out of the
Right.
game until the person with the last chip rolls,
Right.
into the center. So
So I'm the one who hasn't played in some level of professional baseball, so maybe that's why I'm still lost. But you're gonna have to grill. You're gonna have to show me the next time we.
it's the most basic game, bro. It goes.
Listen, you learn on the fly here, man.
Apparently, yeah.
If you can't do left, right, center, and you guys are, then you guys.
It sounds
I'd
simple
be-
enough, but yeah.
I'd be scared. I'd be scared to have you playing behind me. Which listen, Joey Campagna. If you're gonna find Joe play, what's the two positions? You don't play pitcher or anything, but this guy catches, plays second base, shortstop, outfield. He's done everything, bro. This
the
guy
middle.
right here, utility to the maximus. If he had to
Yep.
pitch, you would, but you're fortunate. I was watching this kid, and one of the things, man, I was just like, man, this guy deserves to be somewhere. Somebody got to have a spot for this guy. And you're back at it, dude. Living the dream. As we've talked many times, you're what, 26, 27, 27.
27, just turned
27.
27. Yep.
So still young, still able to get out there every day. I mean, play as long as you can. I always say, keep the uniform on as long as you can. You're doing that, brother. I'm envious.
Yep. Yeah, you definitely played a factor in me getting back out there and not just calling it, because I had that thought, maybe I should just call it, maybe I should move on, and Jason always kind of gave me some good information, I'll gotta say, and some good pep talks. I mean,
Nice.
I don't know if you know Jason, but Jason loves to talk, and he loves to keep you motivated, and
Yeah.
he's definitely helped me through a lot of stuff. So Jace, you know that, I love you.
Yeah, man.
I'm
It might-
very, very, very thankful for everything that
Yeah.
you've done, and I don't think I'd be out here at such a beautiful stadium and everything. Impact Field is where we play. Dude, it's amazing.
We're coming out. We're going to make a trip,
Yeah.
a road trip.
Yeah, it's amazing out here. One of the nicest independent ball setups minor league setups I've
So
seen.
the hotel that you're at, you're overlooking the field?
Right now, no, I'm looking at a plane at the O'Hare Airport. fly in, big 747.
All right,
or
listen.
37.
Then that should be the one you should say, that's my ticket out of there where you're at to go up and elevate to the next
Right.
level. Right?
Right.
you go.
Because
Exactly.
this guy's got the talent. You just got to put it together and show off
Yeah.
and find out who's going to take me, man.
I
Yeah,
love
man,
that.
a couple bad breaks here and there. It happens. I'm not too worried about it. Me and Jace had this conversation. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
If something good happens, great. If nothing happens, great. I'm in this for the ride right now. That's something I had to. Another thing I had to learn was that it's not always about the destination. It's about the journey. The cliche saying, but that could not be more true.
I love
The
that.
journey is what really keeps you going, and what you're gonna look back on and remember. The destination is just the fun part.
Well, can
at
you
the-
talk
at
to
the
us
end.
talk to us a little bit about that journey that you're talking
Yeah.
about here, and you could start wherever you think it's relevant, but take us through that journey to where you are now, because it sounds like it might not have been the easiest journey, and Grilly's given me a little bit of background, but how have you been able to kind of get back into baseball? I know you just mentioned that you had thoughts of maybe hanging it up, maybe not, but you're super grateful that you're still in it now. And talk to us about how you got there.
Right. Well, I'm definitely I am a stranger to quitting. I don't know. I don't know last time I quit at anything or gave up. Starting at a Division II college, coming out of high school, and then moving on, not
Slippery
getting
Rock, right?
drafted.
Slippery Rock, baby.
Slippery Rock.
That's right.
Yep. Slippery Rock. Was an
Great
All
D2
American.
school.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good conference. The PSAC is very good. My roommate in the other room right now, he was with the Orioles, and he was with somebody else. I forget who else he was with, but he was another D2 guy, so that was cool.
Nice.
But All American my senior year, thinking that I was on top of the world, thinking there was no way that nobody would pick me up, and nobody did. So had to move on. I knew that I had it in me. That was the whole reason I went to college, was to get to the next step. And yeah, went to indie ball, started grinding. There was some times where I wondered if it was ever going to happen, but those time periods were very short. I would not let that, you know, ruminate in my head at all. I would consider it, move on, we're good. And just push a little harder, push a little harder. So this off season, whenever I came back, I got surgery. So to kind of sum things up, I was in spring training with the Rockies last year. I was working out with the AAA team, was bouncing around with some different teams there, and was around some great dudes. Some great dudes.
Yeah.
They were. I really have no complaints about that organization or the guys in it. I mean, they were top notch, good guys. I wish they could start winning a little more now,
Yeah.
but they were good guys. And ended up not doing too well with my hip. I was playing through a bad hip injury for about a year and a half, and I couldn't allow myself to go get it fixed because I knew it was going to ruin my chances of other stuff. So, bittersweet moment when I got signed by the Rockies, because I said, "Oh no, this is gonna be a little interesting to see how this unfolds." Did pretty well in spring, and then all of a sudden, the whole right side of my body started going because I was compensating for just my right elbow. I ended up hurting my hand, my wrist, my right knee, my foot. Everything on my right side just went to crap because I was making up for the core of my body on that right side.
Yeah.
And was really struggling mentally with all of that. And I decided to walk into the office and tell them, guys, I need to go get fixed both mentally and physically. And they said, okay, cool. You go do that. Here's your retirement papers. You call us whenever you're ready. Called back. Was kind of on hold for a month or two there because they had all these new roster cuts and everything. And now I ended up calling them back saying, all right, is there really any chance I can get back? And they said, likely not right now. You can still wait. You can still do whatever you want, but right now we don't really see anything. So it came down to that option to where it was like, do you want to move on or do you want to just really call it quits? And as much as I love the youth teams that I was coaching, all the kids I was giving lessons to, I really did enjoy my time doing that. It wasn't time for me to stop. So I told myself, hey, it took a lot to call them back in the first.
Well, listen, man, it's awesome that you were so vulnerable to yourself, because listen, my career. We've been hurt. It's hard. The game spits you out, chews you up. Get back up, dust yourself off, this team wants you, this guy doesn't, this agent wants you, this agent doesn't. It's a lot to take, and the balance of what you're experiencing. Thanks for sharing that with our crew here and our audience, because I think people don't realize how hard it is. They see the glamorous side to everything, and yeah, those lights are bright. You get to go out there, but you're fighting for your job. You're fighting yourself sometimes. Moreover, and you're not the only one, right? Mentally saying,
Right.
I want to do this. I don't want to do that. Our feelings, we don't allow to flow through us, and I'm learning through some of my friends, and as we talk, the vulnerabilities. Our subconscious controls our feelings. We don't get to decide if we're happy, sad, mad, euphoric, whatever. That just kind of comes upon us through however feelings go in our brain and all that chemical reaction. So to be ready for baseball and as an athlete, right? I think that there's not enough tomfoolery. I think that's why people are self-medicating, and there's things that guys do with drinking and all sorts of things, right? Preparation. I need to get to the park at this. Every player finds that, and they say, oh, it's superstitious. They say this. There's a reason, because the anxiety, whether it's good or bad, it's controlling that. Fear and anxiety are kind of one and the same. It's just, hey, how are you going to use it? How are you going to use that emotion or those butterflies? You can go one way, fear, and it'll kill you.
Well, it's that nervous and excitement are the same, technically
Correct.
the same emotion, but it's it's whichever way you
Yes,
choose to look at it.
you guys,
right?
you both play. You know what that feels like.
Yeah.
So these kids, I probably, and maybe I'm going long-winded here, but I probably watched the worst high school baseball game I ever seen the other day. Locally here, it was the varsity game between two local teams. And here's why it was terrible. And this can start going sideways, and we'll circle back to Joe. But we're so...
Welcome to Mound Visit, Joe.
Welcome to Mound Visit, dude.
Yeah.
Welcome to Mound Visit. The pitchers, everybody's hung up on velocity and power, and it looked like these kids didn't know how to dial down. I know there's a lot of testosterone at 16, 17, 18. But it looked like they should have been padded with football helmets and pads because they couldn't control their adrenaline. These guys were ready to just throw as hard, swing as hard, and there was 23 free passes, walks, and hits batsmen. It was the worst game I've ever seen.
23?
23 between two teams. The starting pitchers, both of them had 90-some-odd pitches going into the fourth. And they wonder why injuries happen, right? So breaking down the physical, the mental, the emotional, I don't know what baggage you take out of that. But like I said, Joe, you're starting a new season and learned from your mistakes. The reason why I want to tie that story in is because as you go up, you better control and take assessment or have somebody break it down for you, because all that analytics, if you're not doing that yourself to go, geez, here's all this fat of this awesome prime rib steak. Tasty, because it gives it the steak the flavor. But what am I going to actually use to say, now I know what my regimen is. Now I know what my routine is. Now I know my consistency. And that, my friend, is what confidence is when you get to the top. So you're going to this new season, Joe, right? You went through all this crap, injuries, mental, emotional. You went through the gamut of it. Now you're starting new. 27, it's not too late, man. There's guys making comebacks in the big leagues at whatever age, right? This kid's a physical specimen, dude. If you see how athletic he is, I mean, to play all these positions, I'm a big fan because he's a family friend, like I told you. But I brought you on here because I wanted you to tell these kids, even from where you're at, you're playing a tick below or just outside of that Major League Baseball affiliation. It doesn't matter. You're still playing at a professional level with some pretty good talent, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many good players that come through because of misfortunes or just anything really. You know, some guys had to leave, and then because of a family issue, and then they try to get back, and there's no spots for them, so they got somewhere. They need somewhere to go, and it's only gonna get better because of all these roster cuts that these organizations have to make.
Yeah, they're cutting teams. They're even taking away affiliates. Mm-hmm. They're minimizing that.
So most of my teammates have all been affiliated at either a high A, a triple A, a big leagues. I mean, it's It's up and down the whole spectrum. So there's no reason to think that, you know, independent ball used to be, I would call it glorified men's league.
Sure.
That's what it used to be. Now, it's not even those men's league guys, man. They're in the stands buying hot dogs. There's
Darn.
no
I guess
way.
that's where I'm by. I guess that's where I'll be. I play in a men's league now, so
It's all right. It's all right. We'll leave
stay
it
in the
to
game.
you.
But keep going. Keep going.
Yeah.
I'm
Hey,
saving
first night
my
sold out.
hammies.
I don't think you can make that one.
I'm saving my
But-
hammies, man.
but yeah, I mean, it's very, very hard to get a job now in professional baseball, independent ball, affiliated, whatever you want to say. It
Yeah.
really is. And like Jason said, the mental side of it, the physical side. I mean, the higher you go, you really need to focus in on those aspects of you and of your life and everything in general, because the more precise you can make yourself, to what you think that you need to be to succeed in this game, the better you're going to be. That's why they say the game is Yogi Berra. The game's 90% 90% mental, and the other half physical.
Yeah.
But it's true so much to the point, especially at this level, at high school and below. Okay, not everybody has all the talent in the world, so they don't necessarily have the physical side. But once you get your eyes open to some of the freaks that I see, some of these dudes that are just, you want to talk about physical specimens. I might be athletic, but they're athletic and they're 6'5", huge, right? And
So then, what's your
the thing
goals?
that separates.
So then,
Yeah, I mean,
what's your goals coming into this season? Like I said, fresh start. You're seeing all this. You're assessing it like a kid would, right? You're talking to some young
Yeah.
kids that watch the show. They see
Yeah.
all this stuff and they don't realize, like, whoa, they're looking up to you and go, hey, you got the same emotions and feelings stepping in the batter's box when the guy's throwing gas, right? I don't want to get hit. I don't want to get hurt. I want to
Right,
drive the
right.
ball. I want to help my team win. I don't want to let the organization down. You have all those same thoughts going into
Yeah.
this season, but you're fresh. So talk to me about, because you've been through that breakdown for yourself, in and out, play, not play, break yourself
Yeah.
down to the point where you're going, hey, man, I'm ready to go. You got yourself ready to go, and you have to have maybe some key points that you say, I'm keeping this in check. What's Joey Campagna doing to
Yeah.
keep in check?
So Joey Campagna this year is keeping in check his emotions more than anything, as far as trying to stay consistent with myself, not getting too high, not getting too low. I want to be right above that middle line the whole time, no matter the outcome, because I understand at this point you're gonna get another at bat, and if you don't, well, you gave it what you had for the rest of them.
Well, coming
And
from a
it can be taken away from you. It can be taken away from you, I mean, really quickly, but in the same breath, you just have to enjoy the journey. That's kind of what I mentioned in the beginning, was just really embracing the journey. And every single at bat is a new opportunity. And just being thankful that I get to show up to the field, that I get to show up to a sold out stadium on opening night with 7,000 fans, to be able to sit here with you guys on Mound Visit and watch planes fly by, just everything, just being thankful that I'm here and the Lord's blessed me with all this stuff,
I love it, man.
you know?
Well, amen. Because I'll
You
tell you
know.
what, from two washed-up ball players on your screen, and you got to go out there and have that feeling to do it one more time, please enjoy it for yourself. Nobody else.
Yeah.
Enjoy that
Yeah.
for yourself, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Here, that's another reason why I got going. With the youth teams, we had another coach. So I'm with Adam Liberatore, who's with the Dodgers, and
Yeah.
then we have Tim Hughes as another coach, and Tim was talking to the kids, and he goes, "Guys, we're not in this for us. We're a bunch of washed up old baseball players. We're in this to help you." And as soon as he said that, this off season, my stomach turned, and I went, well, I guess I'm not done. Literally, right then
Yeah.
in that moment, I said,
I love that.
I'm going back now because I hate that. I hate hearing that. So as soon as he said that, I said, nope, I'm going back. I'm playing again. I called Adam. Maybe I waited a little bit because then I wasn't going to end up helping him this year. But probably like a month later, I called him. I said, dude, I gotta leave. I said I gotta go play again. And listen, Adam really understands. He still holds a record, consecutive appearances with the Dodgers, consecutive scoreless appearances with the Dodgers. A great
Stud.
guy, great
Yeah.
with the youth, and he really understood all of it. He made that known to me in the beginning that if you want to go back and play, if you want to continue, whatever you want to do, he said, I understand how that goes. He's played in the big leagues. He's played at the highest level too. So he understands that itch. If you got to scratch it, like you got to scratch it. And very thankful to be in a space where he accepted that, and he accepted the way I felt about wanting to go back and play and see what the heck happens.
You got a great supporting
So,
cast, man. And
yeah.
what's the series? You said you're in home? You start home?
We are at home at Impact Field here in Chicago, right next to O'Hare Airport. I don't know who we're playing yet. I really don't. I know there's a schedule and everything. That was out a long time ago. I'm just not paying attention.
So refresh my
I
memory.
hit whoever's on the mound.
There,
you know?
there you go.
There you go. That's right. That's
So
right.
how many games are in an independent league season? Well, how many games do you guys play?
This league we got 100.
Okay.
So it's the same thing as a regular pro ball schedule as far as you play every day. You know, we just start a little later because major league spring training, and then they have their games, and then they make their cuts and everything, and then minor league spring training ends, and they make their cuts and everything, and now we're here, and now we can pick up guys that need a place to play, and we're just a little bit far behind as far as the dates go, but we rounded up about the same time, around September, October, 100 games, back to back days, long road trips. This league stretches pretty far, all the way from Winnipeg down to Texas, Cleburne,
Wow, man.
and a lot in between. So
And sometimes that wears you out just to travel. So you take care of that part of it too, right?
oh yeah, PlayStation, man. PlayStation gets me through a lot. I'm not even kidding. I bought a screen that attaches to the top of my PlayStation, and I can take it wherever now, so I don't have
Ooh.
to carry a TV. My
Okay.
teammates had to have hated me in the past because I had a TV. I'm not even kidding. It was a big TV, and I would carry it everywhere on the bus and everything. It would make so much noise. But this is a little better. It's a small screen on top of my PlayStation.
Hey, whatever
That makes
balances you out,
travel
man,
easy.
keeps you locked
Yeah.
in. I'm telling you though,
Yeah.
go back to left, right, center, because that's hanging out with your teammates, hanging out with your boys. It gets that interaction. Because that was one thing I didn't like so much is when the video games made it to the clubhouse. I started feeling like everybody was secluded, and I know some people say
Yeah.
that gets them locked in. I'm like, yeah, but it being in the clubhouse, that was the best part to me of the game. Like you
Be
said,
with the boys.
hanging out with the fellas, getting to know guys. There's guys that I said to AJ Burnett, I said, man, you were in the dugout. I was in the bullpen. I said, now that we're out of the game, I said, it's funny how we still don't know each other real well, even though we played together for a long time.
Yeah.
So I just say that to some of the balance that you have for yourself. Don't forget to, man, just roll with the fellas, even if it's just a Coke. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
be anything crazy to wear yourself out. But it's a long season, man, and you're ready. So
I am.
Well, that balance is really important, and I think I want to ask too, just before we let you go here, Joey, because I think something that's important to realize when, I think people from the outside looking in who don't know baseball necessarily, might look at a minor league team or an independent ball team and just kind of just assume that because it's a team that all the teammates are best friends and everybody is like in it for the same, like you could kind of like guys are, when you're in the minor leagues, when you're in independent ball,
You're competing
everybody's
against each
trying
other,
to
man.
Get to the next level. Exactly.
You're competing
So
against your
how
own
do you-
teammates. You are.
Right. how do you personally find, because it's all about balance, that's what we've been talking about all show, but how do you find that specific balance? I've always found that interesting to ask, anyone who's played affiliated ball on our show at any level.
Right.
How do you find that balance in, realizing that you are a part of a team and the goal at the end of the day is to win baseball games, but at the end of the day too, you want to make sure that you're developing in the best way that you possibly can for your own personal career too. How do you find that balance there?
Right. That's a good question. I think starting out in independent ball really was honestly a better path for me personally.
Interesting.
I think that taught me a lot of things as far as the guy that's in the big leagues is now my teammate, or like he was last year. Now he's my teammate, and I'm hitting 350 and he's hitting 220, and it's like, well, there's not as big of a difference as you really think there is sometimes. It's opportunity. It's being in the right place at the right time. And
Confidence, man.
think,
Carry that bag of confidence, because
yeah,
you need
yeah,
a whole
and
lot of it.
that's the next thing.
And it's a difference though between being arrogant and being so egocentric that there's too much.
Right.
You have to have
Right.
enough to go in that batter's box. You have to have enough to feel like I did everything, and you know what? In a room full of alpha, that you blend into it. You hope and that's what they say, team chemistry, right? If you have a good bunch of teammates and you have a good time and you're winning, you can feed off of each other. As much as you may be competing against the guy to say, God, I really, you don't wish ill will, but you're like, man, I want to be the guy that's called first. So you got to be ready and have enough swag and confidence to get there first.
Yeah,
first.
I mean, I've learned that too, though, to where it's like I can't play GM. I can't worry if somebody else
Right.
makes it before I do, or if somebody else gets picked up. I found it a lot better for me personally, and know a lot of guys that are doing the same, to where it's you want everybody else to succeed. And when you actually understand that when you are okay and you're not so defensive about somebody else doing something good and you don't get jealous, that's whenever it's going to benefit you anyways, because you're not going to be so stressed out about why not me, why not me. Run your own race. Look at me at 26, I got picked up and I was happier than ever. I've embraced my story, and I've embraced everything that came with it, and I wouldn't change it at all, because that's what makes me me. I wasn't supposed to be a first rounder out of high school. And to be jealous over that, and to see somebody move up because they ended up having a good thing, or I've seen guys get moved up or picked up that really weren't even that good, but you're just happy for them because you know yourself what you've been through, and you know how hard it really can be, and that's just his story. Because guess what? Where he's not, where you don't see that he's struggling, he might be struggling somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
He might be struggling at home. He might be struggling in here. You don't know.
Well,
and to be jealous, though, I mean, and to wish ill will on somebody else, to me, I think it makes it worse off for you, because then you're worrying about stuff that you can't control, and you got to control what you can, and that's, I think, the biggest thing. I've learned to really cheer for everybody.
You must have listened to Jose Altuve, because listening to some of the stuff, and you saw the success that man has had for the odds that were stacked against him, and he's one of the greatest players going here in the last several years, especially in playoff history. You listen to what his approach was, and he just says, he puts his spirituality up there as just like, I'm just trying to play for God. I'm just taking it as it comes. So to hear you say that, man, is I'm listening to you, and whether you absorb that from just finding it out yourself, stealing like an artist like you do. I used to steal and go, hey, dude, how do you hold your slider? How do you do this? Why are you having success? As much as you're competing against your teammates, being vulnerable to them to ask those questions, you sound really good, man. It sounds like you're so prepared, and I'm proud of you because I'm psyched because you get to play another professional season, my friend, my little brother,
Yeah.
and he's come a long way. So I'm so psyched to have you on the show, and I got to
Yeah,
come
man.
out there. But talk about too. I know who your team might be, but who do you follow? What's the big league story? I see some of the stuff on your Instagram. You've been following your guy in the Oakland A's, the closer there,
Mason.
Mason.
Mason,
Yeah,
dog,
Mason,
dog.
man, Mason Miller, that dude's insane right now, is he
Yeah,
not?
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
unbelievable.
talk about a story. I mean, his story is
Yeah,
crazy, just with how he got there, from a Division III school to the big leagues,
Blowing
and
the
just
doors off the Yankees, middle of the order. I mean,
yeah,
whoops.
blowing the
yeah,
doors off everybody. Yeah,
he's the man. We work out every offseason together.
See?
Catches bullpens, throws live at bats and stuff. We have a good group that goes along in the offseason. We got Dave Bednar, another great dude. Played against him in high school. We got Mason, Derek Law, who's from the Pittsburgh area. I love Derek. He's one of the best dudes I know. He gives me all my baseball pants for the season. He's the best. Um, Derek, we got Kutch. Kutch ends up coming. We had Cam Balago, who was with the Cubs, and he's been playing some indie ball. I think he might retire, but actually, one of my teammates out here, Krause, he was over there. He went to Mercyhurst, so another local Division II college, and he was out there and throwing. So we have a good group that goes and works out in the off season. But it's really cool to see Mason just tearing it up like he is right now. I mean, he was wondering what the heck the Athletics were going to even do with him because they bumped him out of that starting role that he thought he was going to be in.
Well, guy,
And
he's
then-
averaging 2 strikeouts an inning right now. I mean, just
Oh, well, right,
blowing the
right.
doors off of people.
18 strikeouts per 9 he's averaging right now. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's insane. That's
Yeah.
insane.
How many hits
So,
has he
I
given
mean,
up?
he's
I want to
just-
see how many hits he's given up.
This
7
season
hits.
he's only given up 7 hits.
Okay, 7 hits.
7 hits. Yeah, not
And
bad.
only 4 walks for a guy that's throws over 100 plus. So, again, I want to circle back some of the lessons because I incorporate that story and the guy that's worked hard, but he's throwing it effortlessly. It's not like he's throwing it maximum. He's able to move that ball around.
Oh yeah,
Where some of these
yeah.
kids,
It looks light and easy whenever he's throwing. Trust me, whenever he's throwing his pens, man, it's like you still got more, and he's throwing it hard, and he's lighting you up. So yeah, those kids that you were talking about, I know you were fired up about that.
I
the other
was,
day.
man. It made me sick because
Yeah.
they're trying to. Well, they're like you said. There's a road to the destination, and you got to enjoy the journey. But don't skip steps. You know what I mean?
Right.
You might be able to throw 95, but you realize that you don't have to try so hard or go max effort. It's like saying, "Hey, man, if all 3 of us go par 5, 500 yards, take out your driver and crush one. If you try to waylay that thing and tense up, you're shanking it. You're shanking it, slicing it, hooking it. If you take that nice, easy stroke and swing and let the club do the work and let your body do it, it's like that's the part, man. It's just allowing you to perform at the level you're capable of. But that comes with repetitions and preparation, man. All the repetitions that it takes, and then go, hey, I studied for the test. Right? You've definitely studied for the test, man. And you've played against all these guys that you say you work out with. So,
Oh yeah.
you're seeing big league stuff, man, right before your eyes, and you're taking it with you.
Yeah. So being surrounded by the right people, and another people who want to see you do better, legitimately, they want to see you get to the next step. Just whether it's with baseball or in your life, that's a big thing.
That's great.
I've become close with Derek Law really close with Derek in the last year, and that's one thing that I really appreciate about him is, dude, every day I'd walk in there to work out, and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know. He's like, dude, you got to do it. He said, you're gonna do it. I know you're gonna do it, and you're gonna ball out. He said, you should be in the big leagues with me, and just that little confidence where he just wanted to see me be confident about myself and do good. I mean goes so far.
Well, hell, man, you could do
awesome.
interviews in the dark too. This is probably the darkest
I know.
night game, the
I
darkest
don't know if
night
you
game
see
we've
me.
ever
I was
had
just
on
gonna.
Mound
I was
Visit.
just gonna
keep
say.
looking.
It might be
I
our.
keep looking
Listen.
to see where the light is. I don't know how. To
Listen,
turn the light
I don't know
on.
who's paying for the electric bill there, but I don't know. An independent ball saving that money for that peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah, see, the light don't even work.
I was just gonna say we got to let you get some sleep
Yeah,
apparently
man.
here because
Yeah.
it might be time for you here. But thank you so much for taking the time to join us here and share some real wisdom that we don't get often on this show, and it's really refreshing. So thank you for taking the time and sharing that stuff, getting vulnerable
no
with
problem. No problem. Thank you for having me. I love doing this. I love talking to people and trying to help out as much as I can. That's what fills me up. So, I mean, thank you for giving me the opportunity to even come on here and talk with you guys.
No doubt, man.
us anytime. We hope you enjoyed that interview with Joey. I mean, it's like I said at the beginning, just kind of. It sounds cliche, but just about as inspirational as it gets, wouldn't you say? This is awesome.
Listen, man, just never giving up on your dream. You'll know when it's time.
Yeah.
You'll know it's time to walk away. That's why I love that movie Rockstar.
Yeah.
For me, it was like you get to borrow this game.
Yeah.
None of us own it, and a lot of us are sticking around to it. That's why we're doing this podcast.
Yeah.
I know you have aspirations to be a broadcaster
Yep.
at a big league level.
Yeah.
Right? Is that not your dream?
That's right. Absolutely is. Yeah.
So these are your repetitions.
That's right.
You're in the minor leagues right now.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm hoping that some of the people that we have had on our show have aided in, I know you've had off the air conversations. So I want people to know when they watch this show, if they take a nugget away, it may not even be baseball related. We talk about being vulnerable. We talk about all our emotions, our physical, mental, and emotional feelings,
Yeah.
and all the things that make us components of who make up our ourselves. And I just think it's awesome to see where you ride that wave. You don't know where it's going to take you.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't. But it's can you adapt? Can you mold? Can you adapt? Can you survive? Fight and flight mode, man.
Yeah.
But we're getting our reps.
That's
man.
right.
And I know for our first few episodes here, we're not that good. Sometimes in the middle, they ain't that good, but that's why they put an E
That's right.
in the box score, bro.
That's right. An E, an
There's always
asterisk, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
There's always an E.
Yeah. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hopefully, it wasn't too much of an error. Hopefully, it was an unforced error. An unearned run. Nothing too crazy
listen,
for you.
And I gotta ask a question.
Yeah.
I know you always throw to our fans and write in some subscriptions and some questions. Some people in the past, some psycho fans, have bid on certain players, their favorite players' gum or their sock or something that's gross. I don't know. Okay, so you're gonna put your tooth on eBay for that fan that wants your tooth.
All right, Mound Visit fans, Grandma, you want the
Wow.
tooth? Here it is.
That thing.
For God's sake.
How does that even fit
I
in your
don't
mouth?
know. It's to be honest, it's kind of. This is one of the top ones. It's terrifying to look at.
Holy
As big as
cow.
my eye.
You must have murdered some sub sandwiches with that thing. How much
I could eat, man.
How much work did that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. But
And speaking of teeth, hopefully it'll get you sunk enough into episode 53 with us. Mound Visit, baby.
I love it. I love it. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube, people. Your notifications, and you could do the same thing wherever you like to listen. In case you don't like to watch, in case you don't like seeing wisdom teeth, go ahead and listen.
Yeah.
But if you do like to see wisdom teeth, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Casey, Jason, we are out.
Peace out.
Peace
See you
out,
next
guys.
time.